So let me bring up something, Lance, from your playing days, because, and I mentioned this last night. And I said this last night before Monday even started to happen. Now we're halfway through Monday, and it's bringing back, it's horrible flashbacks for me. Because in 2013, the Bears went to Minnesota, and the game's in overtime. And you're on that team. I don't think you played in that game, though. I was looking at the box.
I didn't play.
Okay. So, but you remember the game. You know what I'm talking about. And they're in overtime, and they get presented with a 47-yard field goal on second down in overtime. And Marc Trestman opts to kick the field goal. Now, 47 yards, not exactly a chip shot. Now, for Robbie Gould, who's, one of the greatest kickers in franchise history, you do expect them to make it. I understand that. You have faith in your players. Also worth noting, Robbie Gould had a kid the night before back in Chicago and flew to the game that morning. I don't know if that matters or not, but it was part of the context.
Right. Let's go even further. Robbie told Trestman that my range is 42.
Ugh.
He told him my range is 42. So we have enough seconds to run a play to get as close to that mark as possible. He kicks that on second down, and of course we miss it. And when we end up meeting as a team, he gets in front of the team, and I'm thinking he's going to say, "Hey, I apologize. I made a bad call." He said, "Hey, listen, a week ago, team, they kicked on second down. I thought it was the right decision, and so we called it, and it didn't work." And just left it kind of a...
What a nauseating moment that is.
Yeah.
Right. And of course you have Robbie, who's like, I told him that's not, this is my distance. Kicking before the game, this is where I'm hitting. I'm not hitting it, it's 47.
So the reason I bring that up is because it's the lack of accountability after the game, both publicly and now also in the meeting room. You're hearing from Lance too, that side of it. And then he got out there on Monday, and of course, we're in that press conference, and I'm one of the many reporters trying to grill him with questions about like what he was thinking there. When by the way, there's 4 minutes left in overtime, so this wasn't even like the clock's ticking down.
Right.
You have. It's second down. You can get more yards. I understand sometimes guys want to kick on third down because, what if it's a bad snap or whatever, you still have fourth down. Fine, I understand that. But second down. So his logic was, first of all, he said, I had no regrets over it. So he doubled down on it. And then he said his logic was, something bad could happen, like a holding penalty.
Right.
That's what he said.
Yeah, I remember.
And I had to go run the numbers on the amount of times a kicker misses a 47-yard field goal versus how many times you have a penalty happen. And by the way, it's way more likely you're going to miss a field goal than have something like that happen. And by the way, if it does happen, you still have second, third, and fourth down left, even if there was a holding penalty. So it was, the whole reason I'm bringing this up, though, Lance, is because it just feels the same.
Yeah.
So my question is, great for Tyreek Stevenson to step up in front of the team today and take accountability and own his mistake and do that in front of his team. That's awesome. But did Matt Eberflus do that? Did Matt Eberflus say, hey, my bad, guys, we could have called timeout? Or, hey, we probably should have been in a different defense on the play before that? We're hearing from Kevin Byard, who basically just went up to the coach and was like, hey, coach, I would have done this differently. Did Matt Eberflus do that, or did he do what Marc Trestman did in 2013 where he didn't take accountability?
I agree. But he very similar to Marc Trestman. Now, I said this last night. I said, Stevenson made a mistake, and he got up and he took ownership of it. But he's not the only one, and this game wasn't won or lost on one play. There were mistakes. If he goes up and stands in front of the team and says, hey, these are the mistakes that I made during this game, then somebody else needs to go up. Caleb should go up. The O-lineman should go up. There are plenty of players that go up on there's a play, hey, play 54, play 47, play 30. These were plays that I screwed up and I wish I could get back, but I'm going to learn from it, I'll get better from it, and I'm going to be better next week. Everybody had a hand in this. Everybody had a hand in it. It just so happened that it came down to a Hail Mary pass.
Guys, my role on this team is to be your leader, and it's also to be is to think the game at an elite level. I did not do my job on either level in two distinct ways.
Yep.
One, the last play shouldn't have happened because I really, thinking about it, we should have been guarding the sideline the play before. Two, when I see you're not being your best, it's my job to get you there. I'm going to call timeout, and I'm going to call you out. And I didn't do that because you guys are not going to be perfect because you're 22, 24, 26 years old. You should be perfect, but I can't expect you to be, and it's my job to make sure you are. So, Tyreek, I appreciate you speaking to the team, but I also did not do my best to have you be your best. And ultimately that is my job. I can't expect you guys to be perfect. So I have my part of this. We all need to be better. Guys, let's move forward. Something along those lines.
We all silly like the mayor.